Just wanted to come up here quickly and talk about something um, that has been, will be, and should be talked about since Monday Night Raw, where three NXT women, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch, all debuted on the main roster. At least it seems like they will be on the main roster for good. I don't. It could just be one time thing, or at least a one time thing for now, and then they all quote unquote actually have their own moment in debut moving forward. But if it is and was their true debut, and now they're on the main roster and working both main roster and NXT for now, like Kevin Owens is still doing to a lesser degree now, but it's still going back and forth. I mean, he's going to be facing Finn Balor in a rematch there at the NXT Takeover show in Brooklyn the night before SummerSlam. So that's cool, but he's still working both, even though he's signed a main roster contract. But back to the Divas in the women's division, or the Divas division. It was a great moment. It was a good. It was a good thing that the Divas got more time, promo time, and just segment time. Period. I did my first video talking about the Divas, not first video ever, but first video about the Divas, which is obviously below in my archive of all of my videos, of course, here on this channel, where I talk about the hashtag Give Divas a Chance that was trending around that time. I think it was actually the day or day after, the day of or the day after it was trending on Twitter. I came up with a video, came up on here with a video talking about it and what I thought about it and where I think things should change and what I would want to happen and all that stuff. And like I said, you can check that out and let me know what you think. But in this one, I want to talk about specifically what happened on Raw with all the Divas debuting, how they debuted, what my thoughts on it, and what I think of the Divas division moving forward. Now, also, I'm part of a podcast. I am a co-host, so it's not my show. My own show, Steve's Wrestling Ramble, might be returning in August with live episodes. Like I've been talking about, getting a laptop, doing Google Hangouts, being able to be like everybody else. It seems like joining the modern world, I guess you can so to speak. Being able to do something like that, better video of my regular videos, better quality. Content and stuff obviously is the same because it's still me, but more entertaining, better quality, stuff like that. But I'm also a co-host on a different podcast that's on YouTube called Talking WWE with Jay. You're welcome to search and subscribe to that as well. After obviously subscribing to my channel here, if you so pleased to do or want to. Talking WWE with Jay, I co-host with Stephen A. And obviously the host Jay. His podcast is twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're not live, at least not yet. They will be. He'll be moving his to live shows in August as well. So we're both doing that. Mine first for my sports and NFL Green Bay Packers one, and his obviously for WWE. But anyways, I'm on there. Actually, I'm on there later today. Tuesday, like I said, Tuesday and Thursdays, and then obviously the Thursday before pay-per-views, we do predictions for pay-per-views. So today, later today, we're gonna be discussing Battleground and predictions there. So I just wanted to give his podcast a quick plug because I'm happy and honored to be part of his show, just as much as I hope when my wrestling show comes back, he'll be able to spare some time to be on my show again. But back to the topic at hand, the WWE Divas. I think my only issue was having them all three debut at one time on Raw. I think I would have rather just have them each have their moment, have the spotlight, so to speak, in their debuts onto the main roster. And I would have started with Charlotte Flair. She's done enough there in NXT. To be quite honest, it seems like she's done so much there so much there on NXT. It seems like WWE doesn't know what to do with her there. Besides, keep putting her in, NXT Divas or NXT Women's title matches, which is fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, she got to a point now where she's, it's said and done. She's done everything she needs to do and accomplish at NXT. It is time for her to be on the main roster and go after the Divas Championship. So if I would have booked it, if I was part of WWE, I would have, in my humble opinion, have Charlotte Flair debut first, probably the night after SummerSlam. Then maybe Survivor Series or night after you have probably Becky Lynch debut next, because Sasha Banks is still the NXT Women's Champion. And then a little later in the year, maybe after Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, or leading up to the Royal Rumble, then you can have Sasha Banks debut. You know, obviously by that time she won't be NXT Women's Champion, so that's how they'll quote unquote write her off of NXT, and then she'll be. So I would have had it progress a little longer. Like I said, let them have their own moment. So that's just the difference in my opinion. But the way they did it and how they did it, with felt pressure to have all these women come up, then fine. Now you also worry about how you're taken away from NXT. Now some women there in NXT have to step up, and to be quite honest, one of them is a diva that used to be on the main roster, and that's Emma. So Emma, needs to step up, along with Alexa Bliss, and others. Now, to be quite honest and quite frank, I don't watch a lot of NXT. Not that I don't like it, but at first, obviously for a while I haven't had the network. If I did have the money, I would have had the network the first hour it debuted, or the first hour it was available. That's how much of a wrestling fan I was, and especially with my connection with the Attitude Era being my childhood. And that's what it seems like, and probably is, where the W Network is for those people that missed the Attitude Era, missed the blood, the first blood matches, and true hardcore matches, and such like that. I guess you can call it reliving the glory days, but just really enjoying what was, in my opinion, the heyday of professional wrestling and of WWE in itself. So, so I haven't watched a lot of NXT, but from what I hear and from what now that I do have the network, I have watched now. I think as much as it seems like the WWE Universe wanted these women to come up, it might have been a little too soon and too much. Like I said, do one at a time, span it out within the rest of the calendar year of 2015, and then it would have made more of an impact for each of them, and it would have spotlighted them in by themselves each time. Meaning, they each get their own moment. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great thing for the Divas division, for the women. For the whole give Divas a chance. We're shaking up women's wrestling in WWE. We're trying to make it better. We're trying, or at least WWE and Stephanie McMahon specifically, is trying to show the WWE universe that she cares, that the WWE cares, that they want to make women's wrestling great again, better than what it has been. People that care, not to be a piss break or a yeah, I guess I was gonna say piss break or get your meals break, but you know what I mean. Just something that people care about, something that they'll keep watching, and not just because of, or let's say, a Charlotte Flair, because of name notoriety of some of the women like Natalia Neidhart, but because of what they're giving them. So it's also with the Divas, but with what WWE gives them for storylines. So in that way, showing that they care, making compelling, better things for the women. I think one of the women that I think they should be looking at is Summer Rae, to get maybe push her as much as we hear about this Eva Marie getting her own private lessons in Cali and everything. As I've tweeted out on my WWE podcast Twitter handle at WWE underscore podcast. It seems like WWE wants to push Eva, but don't forget, about the divas you already have as well, or have had, that might deserve at this time a push. Obviously, not to say they haven't in the past. It's not like, oh, this is the first one, but I think it'll be a good time for them. And meaning Alicia Fox, Natalia, but I think on top of the list, in my opinion, is Summer Rae. And I believe that maybe now, Summer Rae, that might be what she wants to do. She might actually want to go for the Divas Championship. And if that's the case, and she makes that known to the people that matter, then they'll listen, and obviously then she'll prove how much she wants it, and go from there. And maybe Summer Rae can be thrown in the mix for the Divas Championship, even though right now I know she's with the Rusev Lana triangle thing, and with Dolph Ziggler and that mess of a storyline. Maybe after that, she can go back to singles wrestling and really maybe get into the fray there with all the other women. And that's why I keep getting confused here, saying with women and divas, and differentiating it and all that other stuff. But if you want to make the women's wrestling of WWE better, if you want to make people care more, make the WWE universe care more, make it feel stronger, more important as it should be, we should call it the women's division first off. We should get rid of the butterfly belt that is the Divas